In the meantime, one California Republican is taking on cancel culture. State Senator Melissa Melendez is attempting to make political affiliation a protected class with a new bill. Melendez says it's an effort to shield residents from political retribution, and she joins us here live on the program. Thanks so much for coming on. What prompted you to do this?
Well, and thank you for having me on. I have to say, I think everyone has noticed that Republicans are being targeted, conservatives are being targeted. If you have supported a particular political candidate, you're being targeted. We've seen this in schools, we've seen this in the business sector, we've seen it from members of Congress who are encouraging people to target those who have supported the Trump administration. And we protect every other class. This is something a bit new in this country of targeting a political class, but I think it's high time that that particular group is protected as well. No one should be targeted because of their political views.
And what's been the response to your bill?
Well, that's been a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, obviously, those who have been targeted, who have seen it going on and don't agree with it, are very much in support of the bill. And then we have others who feel that everyone else in the world should be protected except for Republicans. And that's very telling as far as their attitude when it comes to discrimination.
Legally, have you sort of looked into how this would work?
I have. We looked at the Fair Employment and HousingAct, and we looked at the school education code and find that there's nothing in there that would protect a political class. There are some protections where, for instance, if you are part of a union and, your union says, we insist that you go out and vote for this particular candidate, well, that's coercion. They can't do that. But there's nothing stopping them from discriminating against you in other ways regarding your political class. In fact, we had someone in Sacramento I think it was last year, who was selling a home, and she made it very clear to her real estate agent that she would not sell her home to anyone who supported President Trump. I mean, so that's saying, everyone has a right to housing unless you differ with my political viewpoints.
Has there been any bipartisan support for your bill?
Well, we just introduced it yesterday, so we will see. I often look to see those who talk about not discriminating. Are you going to walk the walk? So we will see if anyone comes out in support. I'm not holding my breath, to be perfectly candid with you, but it's not going to stop me from coming forward with a bill that protects people in the manner that they should, because this is not right that people have to be fearful when they're at work or when they're at school and speaking about their political views. You can differ. That's okay. Everybody can agree to disagree, but you don't do so while being disagreeable and while targeting people and harming either their personal life or their professional life or even their educational career.
And do you believe this cancel culture tends to target one side of the political aisle over the other?
It does right now, but what happens in 10 years when perhaps the tables have turned? I mean, I think that's what people aren't looking at, that maybe it's the group that you don't agree with today, but how do you know it's not going to be you in 10 years or 2 years or 2 weeks? This is not about, agreeing with someone's beliefs. This is about just the basic tenets of protecting people and their freedoms that we dearly love in this country. That's why people flock to this country, because of the freedoms that we have. And I'm seeing them erode day by day in this country simply because of politics. And, politics, it's politics. I mean, you win some, you lose some, you agree with one, you don't agree with another, but that doesn't mean you target people because of that.
Okay, well, switching gears slightly, by the way, you'll have to come back and give us an update on that bill once it moves forward and the future of that. But there has been sort of an effort to cancel or recall, essentially, California's Governor Gavin Newsom. Do you believe that could be successful? Of course, this follows his handling of the coronavirus pandemic in the state.
We have reached the number of signatures that are required by law to get the recall to qualify for the ballot. Now, those signatures still have to be, verified by the Secretary of State. Of course, we're going to get far more than we need to account for those signatures, that will be tossed out. But I do believe that this recall is going to go through. Now, what is the result of that recall? That's another conversation. I mean, we have to make sure people get out and vote. I will tell you, though, that I get a lot of emails and messages from Democrats, from independent voters, who are all for this recall. This is not just a Republican thing. These are people who have been put out of business, who want their kids back in school, who are tired of being locked down for, the last year. So I think Governor Newsom might be underestimating this movement.
Well, those concerns that you list, those apply to people of all different political parties. Melissa Melendez joining us live here on National Report. Melissa, thanks so much. Take care.
It's my pleasure. You too.